Hey y'all, so I know it's been a while. So I've been working and then I wasn't working, but for the last almost a year we have been working on our house. So our house has been in shambles. Most of all my yarn and stuff has actually been packed up in the shed. But the thing is I'm coming on here as like a way to hold myself accountable. Accountable? Either way, one of the words. Because while I was packing up my house, I realized I have a way more yarn than I can handle. It is overwhelming how much yarn I have. And I literally packed up all that was in the closets, all that was shoved under the beds, everything except for what I was currently working on. And then I thought, oh, it's all packed away. Wrong. I found a whole nother box full of yarn, not a little box, a big box full of yarn shoved away. I didn't even realize I even still had. So needless to say, I have way much. I just got the kids in bed. They're about to start school. My brain is everywhere. Squirreling. I'm a squirrel. Well, needless to say, I have way more yarn than I can actually physically and mentally deal with. So what I'm going to do is, I was thinking at first every 2 weeks, but now I'm thinking every week. Come on here and be like, okay, this is a project I'm doing this week. This is a smaller project I'm doing this week. I need this done by the end of the week, and then after that 1 week is up, that product should be done, and move on to the next one as a way to like be on a schedule, but it's made public. So then it's like, okay, I actually have to do this to help get rid of some of the yarn I've had for years. Some of this yarn I don't even remember what kind of yarn it is. I've lost labels along the way, which one of the first projects I'm going to show you, I've actually lost the label, and I've had for at least 10 years, probably more, because I've had it since before I had my little girl and she's 7. So let's get on to the things I'm doing first. It's my turtle. There he is. See? That was my little girl. There's my turtle. But the first one is actually one that's almost complete, and I have no idea what yarn I'm using. I think it might be Bernat Softy Baby from Walmart. Honestly, I'm not sure. But the pattern is from the Mole Hole, and she's got, it's the Rosalina dress. She has tons of super cute little girls dresses, if you just needed to know of any little girl dresses. This is the Rosalina. I don't think I'm doing it back age. I don't really remember. Either way, I tried on my little girl, it fits her. But I'm using a 3mm hook. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Bernat Softy Baby. Softy Baby? Comes in like a big ball at Walmart. It used to be at Walmart. Usually around the bottom shelf. But only thing I've got left to do is finish the bottom ruffle and obviously weave in ends and sew on buttons, which I had to order buttons because I have no idea what my buttons are, and I don't think I have any that match anyway, so I ordered some wood buttons. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 buttons, because you do 6 buttons down the back, but then you also have buttonholes on the straps. That way it's a size adjustment, so you put another button inside the back of the dress on the inside, so then you can have it shorter or longer. So I thought that was pretty cool. But this is the first one. It's almost done. She's excited to get it. So this is the first one. And if I can't have this one done by the week, then something's seriously wrong. So that was the first one. Now the second one I have started. I actually started it about 2, maybe 3 hours ago. Just keep hearing my little girl. She's supposed to be in bed. But anyway, I just started this one like a few hours ago. I don't have a picture of this one, but I'm using these. And it's got a label here actually. I've had this for a few years too. I don't even remember why I bought it, but it's the Bernat Super Value. You used to get at Walmart. I don't know about y'all's Walmart, but my Walmart is just completely whole, entirely remodeled. Everything's moved, everything's different. So they used to sell this. I haven't looked to see if they still do. But it's a Super Value Bernat. And I have 3 of those in white. I think I have some green, but the ones I'm using up this week are white. They are full skeins. They are 197 grams. What I am doing is a pattern by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. It is her mesh, the mesh top, V-neck mesh top I think is what it's called, but it's free on her blog. And this is what it looks like. So you start at the bottom rib and you work your way up to the top. I don't remember. I know you do the back panel and the front panel, then you do the sleeves. I can't remember how they do the V-neck part. I haven't got that far, and I'm one of those, I do not read ahead through the patterns. I should, but I don't. Is that bad? It's probably bad. I usually not get gauge either. So this one, I did not use gauge. So I think it calls for a sport weight yarn. This is obviously a not sport, it's not DK, it's worsted. And it's a thick one, like it's basically like Red Heart Super Saver. So because I use a bigger yarn, for me, the recommended size was a large. But since I'm using bigger yarn and bigger hook, I actually made a size small. And I think it's, once I wash it, I probably won't dry it and wash it dryer. I'm one of those, I like easy care stuff, so I think it'd probably be, once it stretches a little bit, it'd probably fit perfect. Honestly, I probably should have went up the next size. But I've already made it this far. Do I really want to go back? Not really. We'll see. I might. We'll see. But I have a week to get it done. I'm a fast crocheter though. Should I? Today's Saturday, which means Sundays I go to my mama's, which means I can finish that ruffle Sunday at my mama's. I only took him a few hours to make this part. I may be able to make it work. We'll see. But that, we'll be using up these, hopefully these 3. I'm hoping I have just enough to finish it and be done with this, all this yarn. And then the third project I'm going to do is actually a small project. I skimmed over it, but I didn't pay that much attention. It seems like it's a pretty simple pattern, but it's called the, I'm assuming it's supposed to be Bow Wow, but it's actually Bow and then Wow. But I think they did it like that to be Bow Wow. This is the pattern. It's just a knitted bow, and you can put it on like a hair tie, a clip, a pin, whatever. You can even add it like onto a Christmas tree ornament. Just, you know, you can do whatever. It's a bow. It's basically kind of like the one by Petite Knit. I think it's called like the December bow, but this one's worked different. Like it. So the December bow, the rows start from the bottom, like the tip, and work your way this way. Or this one just goes completely across. So, like the December bow, we'll just use this yarn. The December bow, you start at the corner and then make the long strip going this way, long ways, short ways. You know what I mean. But this one, this Bow Wow, Bow Wow, whatever, instead you go on across. So you're casting on all the stitches for the length and working it from one side to the other side shortwise. So then it's like this instead of like this, like the December bow. And then you just fold it and make it into a bow. But this is some yarn I've had for a while. I believe it was Lion Brand's Shawl and a Ball. I don't know if I have enough to do the big bow, but I'm hoping it's enough to do like the smaller bow. I'm gonna weigh it and see how much is here. But it's just been laying in on my shelf. I have no reason to use it, so I figured this bow would be perfect as a simple project that I don't really have to think on. This one I kind of really don't have to think on either, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, those are the 3 projects I've got to work on for this week. Now, if I just happen to have it all done this week, then I also have a sock pattern that I am going to make. Probably not this week. But anyway, if I have ran out.
What about my night light?
The light's on in there. Go to bed. Anyway, I'm working on a sock pattern. I've made one. Kids not want to go to bed like they're supposed to. But I made one pattern already, but I want to make it again before I actually write it out and publish it. But I'm either going to do that, do it as a shorty sock though, because I only have one skein in this color. I'll do it as a shorty, and then that way it has 2 options, like the normal like knitted sock length and then like the short one. Why am I doing that? Anyway, I'll either do a pair of socks, shorty socks, or I will do the bow in this one. And this one I've also had for a few years. I also have it in the blue and the green. And I don't remember the name of this yarn, but it was at Walmart too. You can see how pretty it is. It was also at Walmart. I can't remember what it's called. It was like some night something. Summer Nights, I think. I think it was also by Lion Brand. Lion Brand Summer Nights. I think that's it. But that. So these 2 are possibilities. These are extras if I just happen to get done with these other 3 projects first. But if I do run out of yarn with this before I finish that project, then I'm just gonna unravel it, find something else to do with it, I guess. And then I'll just go ahead and make something out of this. So let's see if I can actually do it. So today is Saturday, August the 2nd. So I guess I'll see you back next Saturday. Bye.